Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Game 2 of the 2023 Lynn City Championship Soccer Tournament, boys style. St. Mary's in the blue, Lynn Classical in the white. Sion Levasseur in net for St. Mary's. Santos Emmanuel Alvarez in net for Lynn Classical. The winner of this game will take on Tech, a 2-0 winner over Lynn English. The loser obviously will get Lynn English. Eric Moreno, the head guy. And if he wins this, he'll be in the final for the 4th time in 5 years. And if he wins it, he'll play against his father, the coach of Lynn Tech, for the 5th time. He's 3-1 against his father in this tournament. So we're feeling out early. Blocked and taken away, and then it gets knocked out. And right away I have a problem because it was number 24 for Classical knocking it out. They don't have a number 24 on their roster. And I have to apologize. It was Hakeem Akandi, because it was 24 in the blue shirt, not 24 in the white shirt. I thank Coach Eric Moreno, who did a header, passed it out in front. St. Mary's was at a little bit of an angle, got a head on it, and knocked it up over the net and out of play. So the first possible scoring opportunity goes by the boards for St. Mary's. Off a header from just slightly wide of the far post. They knocked it over everything. Eric Moreno saved me with he has a Classical varsity roster. They have rosters at the front door when you come in, but the Classical roster, when you look at it, has a big, solid, huge black ram in the middle of the page so that you can only read 1 or 2 of the names. St. Mary's goes down, no call, they're letting them play. Classical trying to push it ahead, knocked it out of play. They come over to the near side. They skipped past, but they pushed it a little too far, and Classical picked it off. And St. Mary's going to get called for coming across and banging in. Because they're like ants over there. Now, in front of us is okay, but from the middle of the field to the opposite side, make sure you zero in. Levasseur, the goalie, will kick it away. I mentioned Eric Moreno, the head coach, is a two-headed monster for St. Mary's. Eddie Mercy, Shane McCarron, duo coaches. They do a terrific job for St. Mary's. St. Mary's breaks it up. They let them play a little bit. There's been a lot of bodies going to the ground without any call. Blocked again. Glasgow lines up with it. They knocked it deep, and St. Mary's knocked it. He almost knocked it out. They got a head on it. It was going out. They got a head on it and kept it in. And St. Mary's off a fortuitous bounce comes up with the ball. And they knock it deep. Hustling, trying to get there. Can't. It goes out. Little poke and grab. Jose Anthony Corral got away with one there. Reached around and grabbed a Condi's shirt. Did it well enough that he didn't get caught. Reaching back and kicking away. It was Ida Solis that gave it everything he had to try and keep that ball in the long pass. It wasn't from lack of effort that he didn't get there. St. Mary's will put it in play. St. Mary's with a rush. They center it, but there's nobody there. St. Mary's actually got it, but they couldn't get the shot off. Ball was bouncing. It was bouncing around. They couldn't get good control of it. And I think that was Kimmich. The ball was bouncing. He got there. He got a piece of it, but he couldn't really get a shot off. And it was either Kimmich or it was Solis again. It just couldn't get control of the ball enough to get a shot off. Glasgow coming back. They're down deep for the first time. Akandi slid, knocked it loose, knocked it out. Yeah, we'll get a substitution for Glasgow. Glasgow will get to throw in down deep. Popping it in front, they got a head on it, knocked it over, just over the net and out of play. I think that was Malara who with a nice little touch kick. And he got a head on it, just a little too much mustard. Long pass, he tried to collect it. Actually had to reach back a little bit and it caused him a slip and fall. And then we got contact, knocking a Glasgow player down. And Glasgow will get the free kick. 10 minutes in to this first half, no score. Opening games of the season here on TV 15. Outside of a couple of Babe Ruth games and a couple of city tournament Little League games, we've been virtually out of business since softball, baseball season, and now we're going to be back in it in full force, starting this day with the 2 games today here at Manning Field through Saturday. There'll be 15 games here. 11 soccer, and football will take over Friday night and Saturday night, double headers. So when we get back in the swing of things, we really get back in the swing of things. St. Mary's almost looked like they were offside on the play, but they tried to drag it behind them, and they pulled it and knocked it out of play. Pot straight up in the air. It goes up in the seats and actually popped back on the field. Glasgow will throw it in from right in front of their bench. St. Mary's gets 3 hits on it. Glasgow winds up with it. St. Mary's takes it away. St. Mary's only has 5 seniors on this team. They have an 8th grader, and Mauricio Marin. To go along with 5 freshmen, so they're a very young team. A little bit of a late whistle. Like the official is, the play was at inside the 5-yard line. The official making the call is at midfield. I don't know how we can tell if anybody's offside. He's nowhere near the play. You look at the hockey officials, baseball and softball officials, that kick was hit off a hand. For Glasgow, it's going to give St. Mary's a free kick. But this has to be the easiest game in the world to officiate, because one official on the near side, one official on the far side, and then usually 40 or 50 yards away from the play. I thought that was a hand off Glasgow. It must have been a hand off St. Mary's, because somebody got a hand on that would-be pass or shot. And it's going to be Glasgow with the kick. Now they kick it back. They blow the whistle. The official out there, I think initially it was supposed to be St. Mary's kick. Glasgow took the ball, they kicked it, and by the time the official realized, wait a minute, it was Glasgow that got the hand on the ball. It's St. Mary's supposed to have the free kick. They were already putting it back in play to Alvarez, the goaltender for Glasgow. And now it'll be Cade Cornell taking the free kick for St. Mary's, so they finally got it right. Tipped up and knocked in. They got a foot on it, they knocked it up, and trailing behind everybody. and it got knocked in. Did you see? We're guessing it was Kaiya Jackson. But when they get far away, the numbers aren't that great in the first place. The drop kick from around the 20-yard line goes wide to the right. So St. Mary's grabs a 1-0 lead. It was Cornell with the free kick. He kicked it up, and he kind of hooked it to his left. It went off the back foot of one of the St. Mary's kids out in front, and when it went off his foot, it popped in the air, and we believe it was Jackson who knocked it home to make it 1-0. And we played just about 15 minutes and 6 seconds to be exact in this first half. St. Mary's leading 1-0. We got a timeout down the field. We come out of the timeout. St. Mary's has scored to make it 1-0. Oscar trying to clear it. They finally do. St. Mary's controlling. Nice little shift. Getting it around. Down deep. Trying to center it. Classical's there to block it and knock it out. And St. Mary's will get the throw in down deep. Trying to center it. Classical knocks it away. And it goes out again. Trying to come around, short. Gonna go wide left and out of play. Little bouncing ball and kind of just flicked at it while it was bouncing, and it just went wide left and out of play. Alvarez gets a workout. The goaltender chasing the ball almost to the scoreboard. He'll kick it away. And that went out of play. And he was quickly right in front of the classical bench area. Popped up, blocked by St. Mary's. It goes out of play. Haskell having trouble getting it out of their own end. Not very deep. St. Mary's gets a shot. Great hustle between 2 or 3 defenders. Got the shot off. And Alvarez had to make a great save. It was going to go inside the near post. Great hustle. He got knocked down. Got the shot. That might have been Jackson again. The header by Cornell. He went up and got his head on it, and it went off the post and out. Bodies go down. Classical takes a swing at Cornell. The official, again, he's miles away from the play. I don't know how you can make the calls. He's not in the same time frame. A lot of the fans have gone to sit on the other side because sitting on the press box side like we are, you're looking right into the sun. So a lot of people went over to the other side so they could not have to fight the sun to watch the game. There was quite a few over there, and quite a few on this side, so it's nice to see the crowd coming. We hope everybody got out and voted today. A lot of great people running. Since I've already voted, and since this will be seen later, I wrote a very nice letter for supporting Jeff Newhall because I think he would do a great job. I work with him. I see what he does at St. Mary's. I saw what he did when he was on the school committee. He would be a great addition. But there's so many really good guys running, and females. I can't say that. I have to say women. If I say females, my daughter will kill me. So congratulations to everybody who made it through today. And good luck to everybody next month when we go out to vote again. First time I've seen it in the city of Lynn, 6 people running as council. Usually it's 2, maybe 3. Usually you're already through the preliminary and the 2 people are running in the final, but now it was 6 people. That shot is bounced in on Lavassa. And he made the save on the one hop. He got a good look at it off the shot by Alan Mauricio Malara. He's only a sophomore, but he's one of the captains. Substitution for Glasgow. We mentioned Glasgow's trying to win this tournament 3 of the last 4 years. And if they do win this game, it'll be the Moreno family once again. Kick deep. St. Mary's is going to get there. No, they're not. It goes out. Good hustle, but it just went out. I think that was Miller trying to keep it in. Both teams lost some very good players from last year, and that's what happens. Just have to reload, get back at it. St. Mary's in a very tough Catholic Central League. Teams like Arlington Catholic, Bishop Fenwick, Archbishop Williams, Classical in the top TBL league. With Everett, Chelsea, Malden, Medford, of course Lynn English. Pop straight up in the air. You get worried about these because everybody's going to try and get ahead on it. Battle going on. St. Mary's finally got, I said, I've had enough of this. I'm just going to push Classical down and go get the ball. Out on St. Mary's. Chacon will put it in play. Pop straight up. St. Mary's knocks it deep. Moore tracking it down. And I think it's St. Mary's that knocked it out. So they'll give it to Alvarez to kick away. St. Mary's collects. Trying to walk around. Trying to walk in. Still with it. Still with it. They were looking to pass it in front. Nice defense out in front. That pass gets through, they get a point-blank shot from about 4 feet. And it was either Maldonado De Leon or Estuado De Leon Angel who made that nice defensive play for Classical. Again, the numbers are, unless they're right down in front of us, they're very hard to pick up. Kept in, hustling back was Cornell. He kicked it back to Lavassa. Wound up out of play. Classical will get the throw in down deep. Here's Cornell backing it off Classical out of play. Trying to get around. St. Mary's knocks it out again. Hard when they're going. to the left because I look to the left, I'm looking right into the very bright sunshine, staring me right in the face, and the face of everyone sitting on the side watching this game. Glasgow trying to center it, it gets through, but standing back there was Akandi, who kicks it out of play, and Glasgow will get a corner kick. Coming from the far side. Headed away nicely by Cornell. Glasgow keeps it in play. And diving and making the save, Levasseur, I'll say it both ways, hope I get it right once, and sitting right in his lap, I think it was Angel, I think. It might have been Corral. Trying to walk in, big time save, and the head goes wide. Huge save by Alvarez. And then following up the play, St. Mary's had a header, and he got a head on it, and he missed it, knocked it past the far post. He had two golden opportunities. Alvarez stole one, and then he missed everything with the header. I think that was Miller with the header. It could have been Kimmich. Again, the numbers difficult to pick up. Trying to get through everybody. Pass got picked off, St. Mary's gets it back. And it goes out. Marcos Weber with trying to pass it upfield. Got knocked out. 10 minutes and counting left in this first half. 1-0 St. Mary's. Substitution for St. Mary's. It's awfully warm down here in the field. Like for the first game coming, I get my car to drive here for the first game, and it said 91 degrees, which means it's even warmer than that down on that turf. The sun's been out very bright, starting to make its way like it usually does over behind the trees at Pine Grove Cemetery. But it's still awful warm. Whistle for some kind of contact. Possibly going to get a free kick. Again, a nice gesture by everybody. There's a fee being paid by everybody coming in. And instead of the fee going to the city or the schools or whoever, it's going to, the proceeds are going to benefit the Ouellette and Bagley families, those two families that were obliterated. The son, Ouellette, former hockey player and baseball player at St. Mary's, killed in a incredible, disastrous auto crash. And the Bagley family, Mrs. Bagley, dying trying to save her son who was drowning. They were in a lake or pond or wherever they were. They were on a hike or on a vacation or on a trip. The son was battling in the water trying to stay alive, and the mother dove in to save him, and she saved him, but she couldn't save herself. So it's nice that they're being remembered. And I've gone this far without mentioning our thoughts and our prayers going to the families here on Lincoln Street and Essex Street. That horrible, terrible, violent time. The guns incidents. 2 people shot and killed. They were celebrating someone going to college. A party right across the street from Charlie's Seafood. And another person got shot sitting in a car. And it's just absolutely incredible the way lives mean absolutely nothing to everybody. So our thoughts and our prayers, may the souls of those that were taken. Nice save, great shot. That was Miller, I believe. Slipping and sliding. He tried to tip it. It just got tipped and it went wide of the far post. Good bid, nice pass. But hopefully the souls of those passed are in heaven, watching over, praying, protecting everyone left behind when they were taken. And bless those that were injured or hurt, wounded. Hopefully they'll get through the horrible times. They'll have terrible memories to go through, but hopefully they'll get through them. And hopefully the families will be able to live through all that they're having to go through. And let's say a prayer also that this foolishness ends. Now it's everybody and his brother has a gun. When you got 6-year-olds shooting at teachers in school, you know you have a problem. I don't know what the politicians are doing. They're too busy going after Trump and trying to impeach Biden. They're too busy, the Republicans and Democrats, fighting against each other instead of fighting for the people they were elected to serve. They can't get together and work together and help this to be a much better place to live for everyone. It baffles me how they do absolutely nothing to help the people they're elected to serve. And they just keep going on. And it doesn't faze them at all. I apologize for bringing politics into this, but we're at a dismal time in our lives. Somebody's got to do something. They kick it back to Alvarez, who boots it upfield, and Klasko will boot it up. We're winding down this first half. St. Mary's got the goal a while ago by Jackson. Now it's coming up on 3 minutes left in this first half, and that's the difference, 1-0. The lights have been on for a while. They really don't need them with the sun as bright as it is. Luckily, we're not in the old Manning Bowl, because that sun would be shining in one of the goalie's eyes and the defense's eyes. Since we're going right to left, the sun is behind everybody. The only ones it affects are the people sitting in the seats and up here in the press box. They gave it away, but then they blocked the would-be shot. Now they blocked the shot again, and they blocked the shot again. St. Mary's trying to give it away, but they can't. They knocked the St. Mary's player down, and I think Classical's going to get a free kick from inside the 15. Just about at the 12-yard line. And I believe it's DeLeon Angel taking the shot. St. Mary sets up their picket fence. Lavasser in net waiting. They don't take it. They gave it away. They chipped it to Chacon to take the shot away from that picket fence. And too much mustard, too much footy, got it way over everything and out of play. They had a nice play, faking the shot, give it to Chacon where that picket fence wasn't there, and he had a clear shot, but he just lifted it high over everything and out of play. So I think that's the end of the first half. So the goal by Jackson is the difference. Classical came close to tying it up at the end of the half, but as we reach halftime, it's St. Mary's 1, Lynn Classical nothing. Welcome back to Manning Field as we set to start the second half of this second game in this 2023 Lynn Soccer Tournament. St. Mary's leading Lynn Classical 1-0. Classical had a shot right in the final closing seconds to maybe tie it up. Shot free kick got blocked, and it stayed 1-0 at halftime off the goal that we are giving to Kaya Jackson for St. Mary's. St. Mary's starts it off. And I'm looking out on the field, and number 6 for St. Mary's is an 8th grader. Cornell boots it deep. Hustling over is Alvarez. Kicks it away. The net was wide open, and he almost put it on the foot of Nick Miller. He couldn't get the shot off right away. If he could have, he had a wide open net to shoot at, because Alvarez waited till the last minute to knock it away from St. Mary's, and he put it right on the foot of Miller. But luckily there was a defender for Classical there, and he couldn't get the shot off. Otherwise, it would be a very quick 2-0 St. Mary's. Chacon kicks it up. They knock it deep. And coming out is Levasseur. Levasseur. Again, I'll say it both ways. I got to make sure I learn how to pronounce his name. Thrown in by Elijah William Morin, and he'll do it again. And that's the 8th grader, Marin, knocking it upfield. Trying to get around the defense. Hustling from behind and making a defensive play. St. Mary's will get a corner kick. Again, the numbers, if they're not right in front of me, are virtually impossible to pick up. They're nothing anywhere near the football players' jerseys. coming from the near side. Cornell tried to get a head on it, bounced off a couple of people and went out of play. I think that defensive play, I think, was made on Kimmich. It's either Kimmich or Miller, but it's either 8 or 9, that number. And I believe it was Jose Andres Rosales Vargas who made the defensive play. St. Mary's heading a couple of times. They had the shot. They knocked it wide. I guess it was deflected wide because it looks like St. Mary's is going to get a corner kick. They kept getting a header, bouncing it around, getting it loose. And I believe it was Miller who finally got the shot. And he put his hands on his head. He couldn't believe he didn't knock it in, and then he knocked it wide from past the far post. Line drive right inside to the middle of the net. And Alvarez grabs it and holds on. And the sign is just about down behind the trees over at Pine Grove. Just a smidge is still showing. That's going to make a little more bearable here. Free kick for St. Mary's. Just inside the 35-yard line. They line drive it. Morin got a foot on it. Jacob wound up getting knocked down. Glasgow will get a free kick. I'm not sure what they're doing. Solis is slowly going over to the other side. I don't know if he's injured or... It was booted deep by Malaro. He's the sophomore that's one of the co-captains. And Morin will put it in play. Pop to the middle. St. Mary's got a foot on it. They popped it up and it hit St. Mary's on the hand, I think. It bounced up when he tried to knock it upfield. It hit him in the hand. He got it, knocked it up, but it's going to give Classical a free kick from around the 20-yard line. They're going to put it at the 17. Almost straight away, a little bit of an angle to the right. St. Mary's sets up their picket fence. They move it back a little bit. Last time they did this, they faked a shot. They drill it looking for the far corner and they knock it wide. They try to knock it away from that picket fence. They did, and it just went out of bounds wide of the far post. Oscar controls, deflected. Oscar gets it back, shot high, right on the middle of the net, but over the top crossbar and out of play. Good bid, but just a little too much foot. Cornell kicks it away. And we got a call. And that's against Solis. Solis is back. I don't know what that was all about when he went to the sideline. He's back in the game. And Malara will kick it away. Cornell boots it. St. Mary's actually kicked it back towards the net. And the shot got blocked. It gets blocked again. Glasgow, it bounced. They couldn't get the shot. Standing right there, waiting for it as it's headed away by Akandi. They were sitting right on the right side, waiting for it to come down, and it just took a big hop. They couldn't get a foot on it, and that allowed St. Mary's to get back and break up the play. And now Glasgow will get a corner kick coming from the far side. Ten minutes into the second half. Out in front, St. Mary's got a piece and knocked it wide, out of play. Excuse me, Glasgow got a piece of it. I keep forgetting Glasgow's wearing white. Glasgow got a piece of that. And just knocked it wide. Everybody getting a piece of it. It's finally, Glasgow's going to let it go out of play, but it doesn't. St. Mary's keeps it in. They walk around. They pushed it a little too far. St. Mary's with the shot. They knock it in. The shot went too far. He took it too far around. And it wound up on the foot. I think it's Jackson again. And it is. Jackson gets his second. That was a great rush. We're going to get a timeout. A great rush by St. Mary's. They pushed it too far, and Glasgow tried to clear it. They put it right on the foot of Jackson, who had half the net open to the near post, because Alvarez was over to the far side waiting for the shot to come from there, and Jackson knocked it home, and St. Mary's got a very comfortable 2-0 lead here in the second half of this second 2023 Lynn City Tournament championship game, championship tournament. 2-0 St. Mary's on 2 goals by Kaya Jackson, with a timeout called by Lynn Classical. So Classical's got a hole to dig themselves out of, as it's now 2-0. But you couldn't ask for a better opportunity than Jackson got. A great rush. The defense did a great job. When they went around the defense, St. Mary's, they pushed it too far, and it went right to a defender. So that rush was broken up, but it went right to the defender, went off his foot, right onto the foot. Lavassa comes out and smothers that shot. As Classical goes down, English comes up limping. Classical's not getting up yet. Now they are. The ball kept rolling. Lavassa came out. He was like a defensive back recovering a fumble. He went down and sprawled between a couple of bodies, broke up the play. And I think it's Bonfanti. He's now going to the sideline. He's limping. That right foot or ankle, hopefully he'll be okay. But a great play by Lavassa. Looked like Classical had a wide open shot walking in. He came all the way out to the 5-yard line or beyond and smothered it. He boosted high in the air. Warren knocks it ahead. Warren knocks it ahead again. Classical trying to collect. Give it back to Bonfanti. And somebody's getting a red card. And it's Classical. Barrios must have said something the official didn't like. That's a little bit of a push, a little nudge by Vargas. So Classical is down to 9, 10-9. St. Mary's has an advantage. They got a foot on the pass. They knocked it loose. Miller went back to get the ball. He had a wide open net, and he's kicking himself because he knocked it over the net. As soon as they were making the kick, Miller broke to the net. He was wide open. It went off him. He went and got it back, and he chipped it over everything out of play. He'll never get another opportunity like that again. And if he does, he'll knock it home. They knock it deep. Lavassa will come out, boot it away high in the air. By everybody. St. Mary's collects. They get around the defense, but they can't get around two defenders. And it's cleared away. Miller trying to walk in. He scores. Classical gave it away. They passed it up. Miller was between two defenders and just rifled it. So he missed that golden opportunity before. But right there, just inside the 10-yard line between two defenders, he just banged it home. So the hole gets a little bigger for Classical to dig out of. We're 15 minutes in to the second half. All of a sudden, it's now 3-0. Nice to see Bonfanti back. He was the one that went out when he had that collision on a would-be breakaway by Classical. St. Mary's with a takedown. The official on the far side doesn't make the call. The official on the near side makes the call. I mean, not quite a corner kick. A little shorter than a corner kick. They set up St. Mary's picket fence. Out in front. And it was Classical trying to knock it home. It was St. Mary's knocking it out. The kick was good. St. Mary's, very good defense. St. Mary's hustling, takes it away. Still with it. Classical finally broke Kenich up, and then Kenich was a little bit upset, and he went after. He's going to get a card. He got a little bit upset because they took it away, and he went and slid down and took the Classical player out. So he goes out. St. Mary still has 10 players. The Classical player went out. They have 9. I think they're looking to see if the Classical player is okay. I think that was Rosales Vargas. He's going to be replaced. So they're looking at Vargas on the far side. We'll get back. Soccer. Classical will kick it in. Samuel's got there and knocked it away. And he knocked it away again. right into the classical bench area. Glasgow just hasn't been able to get anything going offensively. St. Mary's with a rush. Still with it. Trying to get the shot off with Warren defensively catching up, and he knocked it wide left and out of play. That was Bonfanti. And now we got St. Mary's taking Classical down. Alvarez will kick it away. Deep pass. Lavasha comes out. As we're halfway through and counting this second half, St. Mary's very comfortably on top, 3-0. Two of those coming from Jackson. One by Miller, who would returnees from last year and good goal scorers for St. Mary's last year. Off Classical, St. Mary's takes it away. They dump it down. They try to get that eighth grader going. Mauricio Marin, he got called for the takedown. He can't believe it. And the referee was just about to give him a card. He reached in his pocket. St. Mary's making a substitution. And Marin's going out, the young eighth grader. They're waiting because the replacement hadn't come in. Now they go back to the free kick. This time they knock it deep. Headed away by St. Mary's. Knocked deep by St. Mary's. It's a foot race. Getting it by the goaltender. He pushed it too far. They got it by the goalie, but it was too far. Miller couldn't get it, couldn't get the shot off on net. He gave it back to Kemick, who got surrounded by white shirts and couldn't get the shot off. St. Mary's was a step away from making it 4-0. And Glasgow will kick it away. Glasgow kept it in, and then Bonfanti knocked it out. Morin will put it in play. Akandi broke it up. St. Mary's controls and takes it downfield to the far side. They kick it deep. Glasgow pops it up. It was Kemick that kept it alive. Jackson walking in. He's looking to go, no call. He definitely got knocked down. They let him play on that play. Glasgow hustles, slides, keeps it in. I think that was Barrios with the defensive play. Glasgow's going to get a free kick. Just inside midfield. They knock it deep. It was going wide left. Lavasha plays it on a hop, and he'll kick it away. And St. Mary squashes Glasgow between them. A free kick by DeLeon Angel. Great save by Lavasha. Cornell tried to kick it upfield. It got stopped right at the 10-yard line, and one timed it, and Lavasha made a tremendous save. Cornell put it right on the foot of a Glasgow player at the 10-yard line, right out in front, and they ripped it. It might have been Lemus. Again, when they're that far away, numbers are virtually impossible to pick up. But right at the 10-yard line, he put it on the Glasgow foot. He drilled it, and Lavasha dove and made a tremendous save. It was going inside the near post. St. Mary's will get the throw in. Here's get this one a little deeper, and we're going to get a switch in net. Jacob Garino is going to replace Lasser, who gets a hand from the crowd. Did a great job. This is a tremendous save, the last save. He's played very, very well. It goes out off St. Mary's. Warren tipped it ahead, but tipped it too far. Broken up. St. Mary's gets it back. Winds up all the way back with Garino. Gets it ahead to Cornell. Broken up by Morin. Picked off by St. Mary's, bringing it back down the near side. Kemick gets around one. Can't get around the second one. And they blow the whistle because Kemick went down at the 10-yard line. He's back up. I'm glad he's okay. But I think a lot of these soccer players have been watching the pros, whether it be football, basketball, soccer, whatever it is. There's a lot of flopping. So it just automatically floats down, and now even got down to the high school area, like Kevin that time, looked like he was shot from a gun. He was down. He just right back up and hustles back upfield like nothing happened. You know, and you just see everybody do it. And if I go down, I'll get the call and we'll be able to hold on to the ball. And if I don't, worst case scenario, they'll stop the clock and they won't get a breakaway, and they'll help wait till I get up. But he was down like he was seriously down. And when they stopped the game, he just jumped up and ran upfield. So you hate to see that happen. I think we had a substitution, and they're taking Kemick out. I think we're finally going to put the ball in play. Fans yelling at the official. And I'm not sure what that was all about. He flipped it up, dropped it, let the Glasgow kid kick it rather than give him a free kick. Tipped around, Glasgow knocks it back, St. Mary's picks it off. 10 minutes and counting left in this one. St. Mary's comfortably ahead. They're going to face Lynn on Saturday. And they knock it home. From just outside the 15-yard line. That's a freshman. I think it was Santiago Gil Perez who knocked that home. And it's 4-0. I thought that was Jackson's hat trick, but they said 22. Perez, the freshman. Again, we're crossing our fingers saying it was Santiago Gil Perez. For a minute, I thought it was Jackson getting a hat trick.
It was him.
It was Jackson? So we straighten that out. It is Jackson. He's got a hat trick. When I realized that Perez was a defender, I had second thoughts, so we checked it again as Garino will kick it away. So just icing on the cake for St. Mary's as they put 4 on the board. And Classical had that one shot where Lavassa made a terrific save from almost point-blank range. Other than that, they haven't done a lot offensively. Alvarez comes out of the net. Boots it away. Garino will get it and give it to Cornell. And he boots it deep. Off ahead. He neck it from the near side to the far side. They get around the defense, still with it. They got the shot off, they put it right in the lap of Alvarez, who made the save, but he walked right around the defense, down around the end line, still had it, was able to make the pass out in front. And I think the most surprised guy in the house was the guy that got the pass because he just kind of chipped it and knocked it into the lap of Alvarez. St. Mary's keeping the pressure on. Classical finally clears it, but it's 1-on-4. He gets by again, and it goes out of play. Nice rush, nice try, but he was all by himself, had nobody to help him or give it a pass off to, and he finally lost it out of bounds. So it was 1-0 at the end of the first half. A big 3-goal second half. And the defense for St. Mary's has played extremely well. Lavassa in net. Made one great play and had a couple of other plays as well. St. Mary's breaks it up. Classical gets it back. Final 5 minutes. The clock is now stopped. The clock is kept on the field by the official now the last 5 minutes as they kick it back to Garino. Moran took it away. He's played well. St. Mary's breaks it up and clears it away. And it's a foot race. Miller gets it from the far side, takes the shot, didn't have much of an angle. Alvarez just held the post, blocked the shot, and it went out of bounds. Classical and St. Mary's will both make substitutions. As we're winding this one down, so it will be St. Mary's and Tech in the championship final. English and Glasgow. Thanksgiving in September and the consolation round on Saturday. St. Mary's gets taken down from behind. And I think they're calling it a penalty shot. He was in the zone. St. Mary's is going to get a penalty kick. What's the number of the kicker? The only 8th grader is going to take the kick. Mauricio Marin. He hit the post. He gets it back and knocks it in, but they're saying no. He beat the goaltender. He hit the post. It came right back to him. He knocked it in. And he doesn't get it. He made a great try. He deked the goaltender well. He just put it right on the post and it bounced right back to him. They kick it back. Cornell knocks it ahead. Can't be a lot of time left. So the coaches, Ed Mercy and Shane McCarron, are the ones that are going to celebrate as they make substitutions. Head coach Eric Moreno does a great job with Glasgow. Back to the drawing board. Glasgow knocked it out. Glasgow had a couple of times when they were just a bounce away from getting the foot in good contact. They get a shot on net. They got one good shot. Lavassa made a tremendous save. Knocked away by Cornell. Glasgow got knocked down. Carino will make the save. Dive on it. Recover that fumble just inside the end zone. And he'll kick it away. High, booming kick. Back deep in the Glasgow end. As we're closing down the second game of the 2023 City Tournament Boys Division. This is a long 5 minutes. There's more contact, bodies going down. Substitution for St. Mary's. Glasgow managed to get ahead on the ball. It would deflect. It would being blocked by two defenders, but he went up and got a head on it, knocked it wide out of play. And I'll never understand this. The game is 4-0. The game is over. Nobody knows how much time is left on the clock because it's kept by the officials. You get down this far, I don't know why you take a chance on somebody getting hurt. Why you don't just blow the whistle and say that's it. Because it's 4-0. It's not like it's 1-0. And Classical has a chance to tie it. And they say that, they blow the whistle, and that's going to do it. So Kaya Jackson got a goal in the first half to make it 1-0. He added 2 more to give him a hat trick in the second half. Nick Miller also added 1 to make it 4-0. Cian Lavasser got the shutout. Garino came in to play the last 12 or 13 minutes. And St. Mary's will go 1-0. Classical will go 0-1. It will be St. Mary's and Tech in the championship final. It will be, as I mentioned, Thanksgiving in September. It will be English and Classical in the consolation round of the boys tournament on Saturday. They'll have to get up early and play that game. But we're underway. We'll have the girls tournament tomorrow, and we're taking our first baby steps after being out of the high school area for a long time. We're back in now as we'll go full time with football and soccer, and we start off with this tournament. It was big. Tech getting a 2-0 win over English, and another shutout in this one. St. Mary's, led by Kaya Jackson's hat trick, shuts out Lynn Classical by a score of 4-0, and it will be St. Mary's and Tech and English and Classical championship and the consolation rounds on Saturday. So 4-0, St. Mary's over Lynn Classical in this second game of the tournament. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.